Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is MegaShadowFist, and welcome to my next series. Bunted to my pop filter already. And for this series, we are playing Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. At long last, I have returned back to the great Ace Attorney series. I hope that you guys are excited. I hope that you are, because if you aren't, well, that's too bad, so sad, because that's what we're playing. We're playing Dual Destinies. Now, I'm sure, before we get into things, I'm sure that you guys have a couple questions that you want to ask. First off, what happened to Apollo Justice, right? Like, I did Justice for All Trials and Tribulations, but no Apollo Justice. What's going on with that? Well, here's the thing. I generally like doing blind playthroughs on my series, and Apollo Justice would not be blind. Why is that? Because, well, due to a certain Phoenix Edgeworth, my friend Kratos ended up playing Apollo Justice, and I ended up watching it, and I don't mind doing non-blind playthroughs, so I think the game is good enough that, like, it warrants a non-blind playthrough, but I don't think Justice for All was, or not, I don't think that, Apollo Justice was good enough that it warranted playing through again, so I just decided to skip it. That's what Capcom seems to want people to do anyway, because they haven't re-released it outside of the DS version, I don't think, so. Anyway, I am playing Dual Destinies. Another thing you probably noticed is that, hey, where's the cool background? Where's the cool background like you did with Justice for All Dual Destinies and Ghost Trick to an extent? It's because I'm actually playing this on the iPhone. I said at, before we begin, I actually recorded like 50 minutes of this game, but I'm completely redoing it, because at first I was using this program called Air Server to record, but, the thing is, when I was recording with Air Server, like, I was having issues, like, there was, like, terrible sound delay, and it was just getting to the point where it's just ridiculous, so I decided not to record that sound, just not to record it, because, like, the quality of the video just wouldn't be very good, so I'm actually recording this with my Roxio HD Pro, because I have, like, a component, an HDMI port for, I'm recording my iPhone via HDMI, so yeah. So, as it stands now, the first 50 minutes or so of this case is not blind, okay? I have seen it before. And actually a little bit after that, because I did a little bit of test footage, because apparently, like, Capcom said that this isn't supposed to work with iPhone 9, or iOS 9, but it works with iOS 9 just fine. And I saw a little bit of beginning of the second case, because I wanted to see if, like, the game would start glitching out if I use any of the paid content, but that works out just fine. But anyway, I've been talking for 2.5 minutes. That's more than enough time. I got all my stuff out of the way. This is mostly, for the most part, pretty much blind. Yeah, episode select. Alright, and we can go from episode start, please. Start from the beginning of this episode. Before we begin, one thing I want to say is that, unlike the other games, this game actually has animated cutscenes and everything, so I'll shut up for a second. Here you go.
These are dark times, where the law has been reduced to rubble, and it's up to us to restore it to its former glory. Yeah, I know what you mean. It looks like your target finally decided to make a move. Don't you worry. I've got a trusty new partner on board.
You bet! Let's do this!
She's been with us for half a year, though I can hardly believe it. Anyway, her power will be our greatest weapon.
Are you alright, miss?
Yeah, it's for this very reason I returned. Time to bring it to an end.
Episode 1, Turnabout Countdown. The best thing about bombs is how they erase and destroy, without discretion. Now all I have to do is pin everything on that little girl. December 17th, 9:22 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 77. I'm sure you guys were waiting for me to say that, weren't you? For those of you longtime fans. So anyway, before we begin, a couple things I wanted to say. Make some comments about the cutscene. First off, as you noticed, in this game, obviously they're fully voice cutscenes. Phoenix Wright is actually voiced by Sam Riegel, actually, in this game. So, for those of you who watch my series, you might recognize him from, he did the voice of Flynn Schlieffen in Tales of Vesperia, and the voice of Redo in Eternal Sonata, both of which I've obviously done series before. And if you've ever heard me use the quote-unquote terrible Sam Riegel impression, yeah, now you have the actual voice to compare to. It's really not that good. But also, it seems, I know that I'm talking quite a bit, but that's fine. This is the first episode, so I think I want to get all my stuff out of the way so that we can get into the swing of things. What is it that I wanted to say? You could hear the objection music from Trials and Tribulations, like one of my favorite objection themes, actually. It seems like, because I played actually the demo for Ace Attorney 6, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice in English. I played, cause they had a web demo which was only available in Japanese, and I played it. It was pretty cool, and it seems like the objection themes, we're not going to get into that. But yeah, so now that we have this series, and let me say one thing, is that this series is going to be particularly difficult for me, because I can't use any of my very many of my established voices, because most of my established voices are already used for most of my already established voices are already used for main characters, most of which haven't made an appearance since the third game, but for continuity's sake, I can't use those established voices. So for a lot of these characters, I'm just gonna have to make stuff up. And so I've created a voice for Athena and Apollo. Still haven't made one for Trucy or Emma yet, assuming Emma makes an appearance in this game. But yeah. So we'll get into that. Quick disclaimer. Like, I'm sure some of you guys are excited to hear these new voices because I've mentioned them before. Quick disclaimer, most of these voices are just modifications of voices that I've already had before, so don't expect anything too crazy, for one. And two, what was it that I wanted to say? Two is that if you do not like these voices now, it's alright, because what these voices sound like now, they will be completely, it will be completely different by the end of the series, more than likely, because my voices whenever I make new voices, I tend to adapt them and change them to fit the personality of the character. So what these voices sound like now, they're WIPs. In fact, in the 50-minute recording session that I did that doesn't exist, I already started seeing the voices change. So, anyway, here's the Athena voice, the brand new Athena voice, which is basically just a higher pitched version of the Judith voice, so... Nope, not feeling nervous at all. It's amazing what a girl can get used to. Even a tense atmosphere like this is no biggie. And now it's time for the great voice. The Apollo Justice voice, which actually kind of sounds like Conquer the Squirrel, to be honest, which, honestly, if you watch Kratos' series, is actually pretty ironic, all things considered. You doing okay, Athena? It's kind of like the Rita voice a little bit, actually. Oh, Apollo! Yeah, doing great, like, hum a little tune great. Oh yeah? Well, that's good to hear. Although, I could have sworn I heard your voice crack for a second there. I'm that transparent, huh? Cracking? No, my voice isn't cracking! Nerves are still here, I tell you! This is Apollo Justice. He's a fellow lawyer at the office I work for. Apollo is the lead for the defense on this case. But I'm going to be there at the bench with him, doing what I can to help out. I'll do whatever it takes to defend Junie. Speaking of still, how are you holding up? That explosion really did a number on you. Yeah, in case you're wondering why Apollo has, like, this eye patch thing, and, like, he has, like, bandages, it's because of the explosion. Now, actually, when I first saw Apollo, images of Apollo in this game, I saw him with the eye patch, so I thought that maybe he lost his eye in, Apollo Justice. No, he didn't. By the way, in case you want to see Apollo Justice, you can go ahead out. My friend Kratos did a playthrough of it, no thanks to Phoenix Edgeworth, so you can watch a playthrough of it right there. I'll leave a card right here so you can watch it. It's a good game. It's at least worth knowing so you can get to know Apollo a little bit better. But I decided not to do it because I generally prefer to do blind playthroughs. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just happy you're okay, Athena. Although, I can't pretend I have no connection to this case. That's why I'm gonna see to it that Juniper's name is cleared. And I'm sure you feel much the same way. You get that right! I won't rest until Junie's completely cleared of all suspicion! Apollo! Athena! Now we have our little, like I said, I've played like the first 50 minutes. Now we have our little, we'll see right here. This is our defendant right here. You saw that Athena referred to her as Junie. As per tradition in these games, I always give the random female, non-main character, female characters the Rita voice. That's pretty much tradition at this point. Didn't want it to be, but that's how it is. Thank you for doing this for me. Junie! Hey, are you okay? Sorry about that. I always seem to go into coughing fits whenever I get nervous. This kind of thing never happened to at home in the forest, though. This is Juniper Woods. She's my dear, dear childhood friend, and she's also our client for this case. The news keeps repeating that Junie is the alleged bomber. But that's ridiculous. There's no way Junie would do anything like that. I brought you a little snack, Athena. Just a little something from my garden. Hey, thanks. So, is this an orange or a tangerine? It's an orange. My grandma says that orange is the color of strength and endurance. Oh, I get it. Strength for the trial, right? Junie, you're always so good to me. Jeez, look at me, standing here clutching an orange to my chest with tears in my eyes. I wouldn't have... Okay. Well, don't worry. We'll be so powerful in there they won't know what hit them. Right, Apollo? Yeah, that's right. Come what may, this one trial, you just can't lose. Apollo! Apollo! Blood is seeping through his bandages. One of his wounds must have reopened. All this time he was trying to put on a brave face, but he was really overdoing it.
Mr. Justice!
Huh?
The trial is about to start, sir. Please proceed to the courtroom.
What? Now? But Apollo's in no state to defend! I have to. Defend Juniper. What are we gonna do? The trial's about to start with or without us! There's only one other option I can think of at a time like this. But even if I called him now, he'd never get here in time.
Place your bets, who do you think him is? I don't even know why they're trying to be secretive about this.
No, wait, there's something else I can do. Apollo, give me all the evidence for the case. Huh? What are you gonna do? Bailiff!
Yes, miss?
The defense would like to submit a substitution of attorney petition. Thena! You're not seriously. You just concentrate on getting better. I'll defend Junie. All by yourself? Athena, stop for a second. Think what you're saying. You've never once taken a case on alone right before, right?
This is actually starting to go more into the Raven voice. I need to start distinguishing this a bit more.
No hay problema. I can handle it. I think.
I wonder what she probably said. No problem in English in the Japanese version. I would say. Yeah, that's probably what she said.
But I guess it's really up to you, Junie. Would you be okay with me taking over? Sure. I believe in you, Thena, and that's enough for me. You're worried for me, aren't you? To be honest, I'm pretty nervous too. I think my heart might just burst out of my chest. But you're in no shape to stand at the bench now, so you just have to leave it to me. Alright, I can see your mind's made up anyway. I hate that I can't be there, but I know you give it your utmost to defend Juniper. You bet I will, rest assured of that! My name is Athena Sykes.
I think the pun in her name is supposed to be like, not psychotic, although apparently some could argue that her character is a psychotic from what I've heard. More like, psychic, I think? Psychic, that's the word.
I'm still just a newbie, but I'm a lawyer. This is only the second time I've taken the lead in a defense case. It'll be the first time I stand up there alone, though. But I have to do this, and I'm definitely not about to let anything bad happen to Junie.
It's so good to be back, ladies and gentlemen. December 17th, 9:46 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5. By the way, I want to say I'm actually playing with like a bit of sound delay. Day 1, court is now in session, a bit of sound delay. I can't actually plug my earphone into my iPhone, otherwise, I wouldn't be able to record the sound on my iPhone with HDMI. So I'm actually listening. In order for me to be able to hear things, I'm actually listening to the sound from my audio preview from my Roxio Game Capture HD Pro software. So, and because like the capture preview profile, the preview is a bit delayed, my sound is a little bit delayed. So it's kind of weird because I sometimes tend to time my reactions to like sounds. To like the sounds that various sounds that I hear, like sound cues, but I can't exactly do that, so I don't know. But anyway, you might say, why am I stalling? Because we're pretty much at the end of the episode, ladies and gentlemen. Come on! 20 minutes! That's how it's always been since Dishonored. Tales of Despair, if you want to be technical. So anyway, first time of the series, awkward pause! How you like me now?